When the investigator called, I nearly dropped my phone. "Ms. Collins," he said, "we've confirmed the signatures were forged. All 3 loans link back to your parents." My voice shook. "So, this is really happening?" "Yes. We're filing charges. We just need your final signature." After everything they'd stolen, signing that paper felt impossible and necessary at the same time. At the station, I gripped the pen so tightly it dug into my skin. Ethan whispered, "Aria, you're doing the right thing." "I know," I said, my hand trembling as I signed. "It just feels like I'm setting fire to my whole life." "You're setting fire to the cage," he replied. "There's a difference." When the charges were filed, chaos erupted instantly. Tyler posted online within an hour. "My sister betrayed our parents for attention. Pray for our family." I stared at the screen, shaking. "His unbelievable." Maya grabbed the phone. "Block him and don't look back." "No, I want to see who supports him," I said quietly. Cousin Chloe wrote, "This isn't Aria's fault. They stole from her." Aunt Karen wrote, "Ungrateful kids these days." I sighed. Of course she said that. My uncle messaged me directly, "If you need a place to stay, I'm proud of you for speaking up." I whispered, "Someone's proud of me." Finally. A few days later, the real downfall began. Dad's small contracting business was investigated next. His license was flagged for fraud. Mom lost 2 major clients when word got out. They showed up at Maya's apartment again, but this time with desperation instead of rage. Dad banged on the door. "Aria, please, you don't understand what you've done." Mom sobbed, "Baby, we're your parents. We made mistakes, but you can fix this." I stayed behind the door, my voice steady. "I'm done fixing what you break." Mom's cry cracked into a scream. "You're destroying us." Maya opened the window instead of the door. "You destroyed yourselves," she shouted. "Leave her alone or I'm calling the police." Dad's voice wavered. "Aria, please, we can talk." "No," I said again. "Not anymore." Their footsteps faded, but their begging echoed in my ears for hours. I expected guilt. I expected heartbreak. But all I felt was release. A week later, the investigator called again. "Their case is moving forward. The evidence is strong." "Thank you," I whispered. Mom tried one last message. "I'm sorry. Please don't let them take us to court. I didn't want to hurt you. I just needed help." For the first time in my life, her crying didn't twist my heart. It didn't break me. It didn't pull me back. I typed one final sentence, "I hope you learn something from this." Then I blocked her too. When I went back to my childhood room to pack my last things, the silence felt heavy. The posters, the old desk, the trophy I won in 7th grade, they all stared at me like ghosts. I whispered to the empty room, "I'm not that girl anymore. The one who begged for love. The one who waited for you to choose me." I placed my hand on the wall one last time, then walked out. Maya helped me move into my first apartment. The place was tiny, peeling paint, squeaky floor, mismatched cabinets. But when she flipped on the lights, something in my chest warmed. "This is yours," she said. "Your space. Your beginning." I exhaled shakily. "It doesn't feel real." "It will," she smiled. "Give it time." That night, I sat on my new mattress on the floor, surrounded by boxes. For the first time in months, no one yelled. No one mocked me. No one stole from me. It was quiet. Soft. Strange. And safe. I whispered to myself, "You made it out, Aria. You finally chose yourself." The words didn't hurt. They healed. I lay back, hands on my chest, feeling every slow, steady heartbeat. I survived the people who were supposed to protect me. And now I was free. My phone buzzed while I was kicking off my shoes. I didn't even look at the screen at first. I just said, "Probably Mom asking if I made it home," and tossed my bag on the couch. Then I opened the group chat. I froze. The message read, "We need distance from you, Tessa. Please don't contact us for a while." I stared at it, whispering, "What? Distance? From me?" My throat felt tight, like the words were physically choking me. Before I could type anything, little grey boxes popped up. Sarah Morgan left the group. Mark Morgan left the group. Mason left the group. Lily left the group. No, 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 what are you doing? I whispered. Mom. Dad. I tapped Mom's name. Blocked. Dad. Blocked. Mason too. Even Lily. You didn't mean this, I said to the empty room. You wouldn't do this. My hands shook so hard I nearly dropped my phone. I hit call anyway. Straight to voicemail. I hit Dad's name. Straight to voicemail. I tried Lily next, whispering, please pick up. Please. Nothing. I slid down onto the floor, the cold tiles against my legs. Just tell me what I did, I said out loud because silence felt worse. Just tell me. My phone slipped from my hand. I grabbed it again, reread the message, reread the names disappearing. Every time I blinked, the letters blurred. Distance from me? Why? What did I do? My voice cracked. Why won't you tell me? Images flashed through my mind, Mom avoiding eye contact at my birthday, Mason smirking when I got emotional, Dad whispering behind doors, Lily suddenly leaving dinners without explanation. I always told myself they were just stressed. Tired. Busy. Not rejecting me. Was it me? I whispered. Was I really the problem all along? A sob tore out of me so suddenly it scared me. I covered my mouth with both hands. My chest hurt, my lungs felt too tight to breathe. My body folded in on itself, like someone punched me from the inside. I didn't hear the apartment door the first time. But then I heard Elena's voice. Tessa. I'm coming in, okay? I lifted my head just as she rushed over. Oh my God, she breathed, dropping beside me. What happened? Why are you, Tess? You look terrified. I shoved my phone at her. Read it. Please. Just read it. She scanned the screen. Her eyes widened. They said this. Your whole family. They blocked me, I whispered. All of them. Even Lily. Elena's voice sharpened. This isn't normal. This is emotional abuse. Don't say that, I snapped, wiping my face. It's my family. They wouldn't do that. They just did, she said gently. Maybe their phones glitched. Maybe someone hacked something. Maybe. Tessa. She grabbed my hand, firm but soft. People don't block their daughter by accident. My breath shook. Then I must have done something. No, she squeezed tighter. Don't go there. Not tonight. I pulled away, shaking my head. But why else would they cut me off? Did I say something wrong at dinner? Did I forget someone's birthday? Did I? Tessa, stop, she said, her voice breaking a little. You're trying to earn blame that isn't yours. I couldn't accept that. They're my family, Elena. They raised me. Lily practically raised me. Why would they all turn on me at the same time? I don't know, she said. But that's exactly why it's abuse. I covered my face again. I can't lose them. I can't. I don't know who I am without them. You're Tessa, she said. The girl who survived everything they threw at her. The girl who deserves answers. I shook my head. No. They'll call back tomorrow. They'll explain. They have to. Elena looked at me like she wanted to believe me but couldn't. What if they don't? Then I'll just apologize, I whispered. For whatever it was. Her voice turned sharp. You don't even know what you're apologizing for. I don't care. I just need my family back. Elena swallowed hard. Tessa, you're not seeing this clearly. They're punishing you for something you don't even understand. A strange chill slid through me. Punishing me for what? She hesitated. I don't know. But something is really wrong. I stared at the blank phone screen. My reflection looked like a stranger, red eyes, trembling lips, hair sticking to my cheeks. Do you think they hate me? No, she said quickly. I think something happened long before tonight. Something they never told you. The chill grew stronger. Like what? I whispered. She didn't answer. And that scared me more than the message. Because for the first time, a quiet voice inside me whispered a truth I never allowed myself to think. Something is very, very wrong. And it didn't start today. I didn't sleep. Not even for a second. I kept scrolling through old photos like they were crime evidence. Why didn't I see any of this? I whispered to myself. In one picture, Mom was smiling at Mason, but her body angled away from me. In another, Dad stood stiff beside me like he couldn't touch me. And at my graduation, God. Mom literally turned her face when I tried to hug her. Elena sat beside me on the floor. Tessa, look at that, she said softly. They've been acting like this for years. No, I muttered. I'm overthinking. She sighed and grabbed another photo. You're not. This is weird, Tess. Really weird. Around noon, Elena brought her boyfriend, Tyler, who kneeled beside the couch like he was examining a crime scene. Your family's behavior screams manipulation, he said. Distance, blame, silent treatment. All classic tactics. I frowned. Manipulation? No. They're just emotional. No, Tyler said firmly. They're conditioning you. That sounds dramatic. Then explain why they blocked you instead of talking to you, he said. I swallowed. I don't know. And that's the problem, Elena added. You're always trying to justify them. I rubbed my eyes. They're my family. What else am I supposed to do? Look for the truth, Tyler said calmly. And stop assuming you're the villain. The word truth stayed with me long after they left. It echoed in my chest until I couldn't breathe. At 5 p.m., I grabbed my keys. Elena jumped up. Where are you going? To see Lily. She exchanged a worried glance with Tyler. Do you want us to come? No, I said. If I don't do this alone, I'll never do it. When I walked into Lily's workplace, she froze like she'd seen a ghost. Tessa, she whispered. Why did you block me? I asked. What did I do? She glanced around nervously, lowering her voice. I can't talk here. Then talk somewhere else. I said I can't, she repeated, more urgent this time. She stepped closer, eyes darting to the door. You shouldn't be here. I just want answers, I pleaded. Please. She looked at me with so much guilt I felt sick. Then, without a word, she grabbed my hand and pressed something into my palm. A folded note. Read this when you're alone, she whispered. Lily. I'm sorry, she cut in, voice trembling. And then she walked away. I left the building shaking. Outside, beneath a streetlight, I unfolded the note. 5 words punched the air from my lungs. You deserve the truth. Check your mother's old lockbox. Don't trust anyone. I stared at the handwriting until my vision blurred. The lockbox. I whispered. Memories rushed back, Mom slamming it shut, Mom saying, this is private, Mom yelling at me the one time I touched the shelf it sat on. I felt suddenly nauseous. What are you hiding, Mom? By 10 p.m., I was standing outside my parents' house. My hands shook as I slid the spare key into the door. Just get in, get out, I whispered. Don't think. The house was dark and silent. I tiptoed to the hallway closet. The lockbox sat exactly where it always had, top shelf, metal edges rusting. My heart thudded violently as I pulled it down. Please don't let this ruin me, I whispered. I found the tiny key taped underneath a drawer. When the lock clicked open, my stomach dropped. Inside were stacks of letters labeled with my name. I opened the first one. I miss you, Tessa. I hope one day I get to meet you. Another letter. I can't believe Sarah still won't let me see her. I shook my head. Who wrote these? Why didn't I ever see them? Then I found the DNA test. My breath froze. No. No, no, no. And then the custody agreement. My hands shook so violently I dropped everything. Mark isn't my father, I whispered. They knew. Everyone knew but me. I sank to the floor, gripping the papers. So that's why they looked at me like I didn't belong. My voice cracked into a whisper. Mom blamed me for her mistake. Anger suddenly surged through me, hot, violent, overwhelming. You lied to me, I said to the empty house. You lied to everyone. And then you punished me for it. I felt something break inside me, not my heart, but the part of me that kept making excuses for them. This time, the tears weren't weakness. They were rage. I didn't knock gently. I pounded on the door like the house owed me something. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the folder I'd stuffed everything into. When the door opened, Mom blinked at me like I was a stranger selling insurance. "Tessa, why are you here? That's what you want to ask me," I snapped. "Not why you blocked me. Not why you lied to me my whole life." She stiffened. "This isn't a good time. I don't care. Move." She hesitated, then stepped aside. I stormed into the living room. Dad was sitting on the couch, eyes fixed on the TV like he had rehearsed not looking at me. "Dad," I said. He didn't turn. Not even a flinch. "Mark," I said louder. He swallowed but still didn't face me. Then Mason walked in, lifting an eyebrow. "You seriously came back?" "Why wouldn't I?" I shot back. He laughed under his breath. "God, you never get it. You're the mistake that ruined everything." My knees buckled. "Say that again," I whispered. "It's the truth," he said. "You wrecked this family from the moment you were born." Something inside me cracked open, something raw, something ugly. I ruined everything? Or Mom ruined everything when she lied? Dad finally turned, his face pale. "Tessa, stop." "No," I said. "You don't get to silence me." I slapped the documents onto the table so hard the sound echoed. "Explain this." Mom's face drained of color. "Where did you get that?" "From your lockbox. The one you hid from me. The one filled with letters from a man I don't even know. The one with a DNA test you never showed me." My voice shook. "Why didn't you tell me Mark isn't my father?" Dad stood abruptly. "That wasn't your information to find. So it was your information to lie about?" I shouted. Mom grabbed the papers but her hands trembled. "Tessa, calm down. Calm down. You lied about who I am, because I had to," she snapped. "Why? Why would you hide my father from me?" She threw the papers onto the table and pressed her hands to her temples. "Because I cheated, okay? Years ago. I made a mistake, and you are the result of it." I stared at her, my heart stumbling. "A mistake? That's how you talk about me. You don't understand," she whispered. "You're right," I said. "So explain it." She sank onto the chair, her voice low. "When I found out I was pregnant, I panicked. I told Mark he was the father. And he believed me. Everyone believed me. But when Ben Carter started reaching out emails, letters, calls, I knew the truth was going to come out. And I couldn't let that happen." "Why?" My voice cracked. "Why punish me?" "Because you were the reminder," she said quietly. "The reminder of what I did." I stumbled back. "So you turned the whole family against me because you couldn't face your own guilt?" Mom shut her eyes. "I needed it to stop. So I told them you were becoming toxic, manipulative, that you caused problems. You made them cut me off," I whispered. "You told them lies so they wouldn't believe me if I found the truth." Dad rubbed his forehead. "We thought it was best." "Best for who?" I cried. "Certainly not for me." Mason scoffed. "Mom did what she had to do." "No," I said. "She did what protected her. Not us." I turned to Mom. "And my real father? What about him?" She hesitated before whispering, "His name is Ben Carter." The room tilted. "He looked for me. All these years." She nodded slowly. "He wanted to meet you. I didn't let him." I felt like the air was being sucked out of my lungs. I grabbed the edge of the table to stay upright. "You didn't let him. You didn't let me. You stole that choice from me. Tessa." "No." I screamed, louder than I ever had before. "I'm done. I'm done being your secret. Your shame. Your mistake." Mom reached out, but I stepped back. "Don't touch me," Dad whispered. "Where are you going?" "Anywhere but here." I grabbed the folder and left. I didn't look back. Outside, Elena and Tyler were waiting in the car like they somehow knew I'd need them. Elena ran to me first. "Tessa, what happened?" I fell into her arms, sobbing so hard my whole body shook. "She lied," I choked out. "She lied about everything. Tyler put a hand on my shoulder. You're safe now. You're not alone. Elena held me tighter. You didn't lose a family, Tess. You survived one. And for the first time, I believed her. Because I wasn't weak anymore. I was done. I stood outside the cafe, palms sweating so hard I nearly dropped my phone. When the door opened, a man stepped out, tall, tired eyes, shaking hands. He whispered, "Tessa." I nodded, barely breathing. "You're Ben." He didn't answer with words. He just pulled me into the tightest, most desperate hug I'd ever felt. His shoulders shook. He was crying. Real tears, heavy, warm, honest. "I thought I'd never see you," he choked out. "You look like your mother, but your eyes, they're mine." I pulled back, staring at him. "Why did you keep looking for me?" "Because you're my daughter," he said. "And because I loved you before you were even born." My throat tightened. She didn't let you reach me." He nodded slowly. "I know. I kept writing anyway." He pulled out a small box. "These were yours." I opened it. Dozens of envelopes, all with my name in handwriting I didn't recognize. "You wrote these." "Every birthday," he said softly. "Every Christmas. Your first day of kindergarten. Your graduation. Even when I didn't know where you were. I wanted you to have them." I flipped through them, hands shaking. "She never gave me a single one." "I'm so sorry," he whispered. I broke. The tears came fast, painful. "I spent my whole life thinking I wasn't wanted." "You were wanted," he said, pulling me back into his arms. "You were just kept from me. I don't understand why she did that." He sighed. "Fear. Shame. Control. None of it was your fault, Tessa. None of it." Hearing none of it was my fault, made something inside me finally loosen. Like a knot I'd carried my whole life had finally started to unwind. For the first time ever, I felt something warm, something grounding. Belonging. By the end of the week, word had already spread about my mother's lies. I didn't have to expose anything. The truth ran on its own legs. Elena called me one morning. "Tess, are you sitting down?" "What now?" I asked. "She got fired," she said. "Her job found out about the falsified documents. She's in a meltdown." I swallowed. "And Dad?" "He left the house. Neighbors say he hasn't stayed there in days." I pressed the phone to my ear. "And Mason?" "Oh, he's suddenly apologizing to anyone who will listen," she said. "But it's only because people are calling him out. He's not sorry. He's scared." I sighed, not angry, not satisfied, just detached. "I'm not going back," I whispered. "Good," she said. "You don't owe them your healing." And she was right. For once, I didn't want to save them. I didn't want to comfort the people who broke me. I didn't want to shrink myself anymore. I wanted to grow. 2 weeks later, I sat in a courthouse filling out paperwork. The clerk asked, "Are you sure you want to legally change your last name?" I smiled softly. "Yes. I'm sure." New name. Tessa Carter. Hearing it aloud made my chest warm. It felt right. Like a door closing gently behind me. I moved into a small apartment with sunlight that touched every corner. I bought furniture that didn't remind me of anything. I cooked meals that didn't taste like shame. And I started therapy, where I sat on a soft couch and finally heard myself say, I wasn't the problem. I cried in that room more than anywhere else. But it was the good kind, the healing kind. Ben visited often. Sometimes we talked for hours, sometimes we just sat in silence. "You're stronger than anyone knew," he said once. "Even me," I admitted. One night, after unpacking my last box, I caught my reflection in the mirror. For a second, I didn't recognize the girl staring back, eyes swollen, cheeks flushed, but standing straight for the first time. I whispered, I wasn't the problem. I was the truth they tried to hide. My voice didn't shake this time. "I'm not their shame anymore," I said. "I'm mine. My own life. My own name." I touched the mirror lightly. I'm finally free. And for the first time in my entire life, I believed every word.